Hi, I'm Ojhani Jackson, and I'm a network engineer in Seattle, Washington. I was born and raised in Seattle, been here for my whole life. I used to play sports, basketball, football, all that good stuff. Tech-wise, I was not going to school for tech. I didn't have anything to do with tech. I was gonna go to school for finance originally. Tech got introduced to me through being an engineer inside of a music studio. I thought it was just gonna be all music stuff, but actually there's a lot of troubleshooting relating to running a session, figuring out drivers, updating like the software, and sometimes we had really old hardware that would try to communicate with the new software, so I kind of had to like figure that part out. So I found myself doing all this tech related stuff, and it was when I started diving deep into operating systems. This is when I was looking at myself and I was like, okay, I can work inside of the tech field. I know this stuff. I enrolled for Seattle Central College and I took some IT courses. And from there, I just got really curious. I started doing a lot of research inside of tech, teaching myself things like Python, operating systems. At first, it was really intimidating, just all the material and knowing like what role I should go for. Before I got my first IT job, I did not have any type of certifications. I built up a project-based resume and I just started applying to many positions. I would say I applied to over 1,000 spots, like whether it was in Seattle or Arizona, Atlanta, or wherever. And I got an email from Smart City Network with my first job offer. I was so excited. I kind of thought it was like a scam at first. It was like too good to be true because I didn't have any type of experience. I didn't think I had enough knowledge, so it was a pretty good feeling. So currently I work for Smart City Network and we service the convention center with bandwidth. I got the job offer. They had me come in for the interview. At first I was pretty intimidated because I didn't know what questions that they were going to ask me, but it went pretty smooth. By then I wasn't sure that if I got the position fully, so I was constantly emailing them back, and what actually got me the position was I texted the hiring manager at like 9 p.m. and he texted me back kind of like mad, like, hey, like only text me during like business hours and stuff like that. But it was really just me being like persistent. It's really got me the job. It took me about 4 to 5 months, I would say, to get my Network Plus. I talked to my manager about the certification and I came to find out that the FC was paying for it. So I went through that process. Obtaining the CompTIA Network Plus really helped me inside of my engineering role. It filled in a lot of the gray spots of me not knowing how to troubleshoot this thing or that thing, so it definitely helped a lot. After I got my certification, they bumped me up from a Tech 1 to a Tech 2. As a Tech 2, I got into more of deploying Wi-Fi, configuring switches. Clients will come in for specific reasons, like a trunk. So I learned how to configure trunk ports. It was around July. Microsoft came into the convention center. They had their own techs come in. We were working together to troubleshoot some fiber connections throughout the whole center. At first I was pretty intimidated because I didn't know too much about fiber, but it was just a learning process. I got to learn a lot about like PoE, single mode fiber, main circuits. So I work with 4 other techs. I love to work with them. Communication is great. They teach me a lot because 2 of the techs there has been a tech there for over 5 years. They get me through troubleshooting. Sometimes if I like panic a little bit when a client asks for something that I kind of have a little bit knowledge about, I'll check in and they'll like reassure me that I got it, you know, I can do it. When I feel like everything is chaotic, I usually slow down and I break it down to just like the layers. So I go down to the physical layer, like is everything patched in right? Did somebody run over a cable? Did some guy switch like the port over to like the left port? And come to find out, that's usually just like the main solution. It's either like a ran over cable, a mislabeled port, and stuff like that. The data circuits are huge. Our bandwidth, we have plenty of bandwidth. Our core router can go up to like 12 terabytes per second. Some of the things that surprised me about my job was the knowledge that people know about bandwidth and just like the internet in general. Fun fact, a lot of people don't know that fiber connections are underneath the sea and stuff like that. Dealing with clients and them not really knowing what like a switch is or what they need specifically. So I kind of have to like be like, okay, like I see the work that they're kind of doing, so they need this or they need that. On my free time, I like to create music. I'm a music producer as well. I love to create beats. I use Fruity Loops and Pro Tools to create my music. So I actually found a correlation with Fruity Loops because I find myself connecting different pieces together to create a whole finished product, and a correlation to that inside of just like the job world. And my role is like figuring out this problem just to get like the circuit to work. If someone was to ask me how to get into the tech industry, I would advise to really know what role that you're trying to go for. I know it can kind of be like a gray spot to figure out what this role does and what that role does. So really sitting down and figuring out every details of just like the roles inside of tech. That's like the first step I would take.